insecurity in Northeast will abate soon, President Buhari assures Nigerians. It urges military to deploy fighter jets on terrorists. And Senate confirms 7 nominees as INEC commissioner. Well, it's good to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday assured Nigerians that in the coming months, citizens, particularly in the Northeast, will begin to witness a change from the protracted insurgency to peace and development in their respective communities. President Buhari disclosed this during the inauguration of a presidential committee on the repatriation, returns and resettlement of displaced persons in the Northeast during the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House. The president, who underlined that there is no room for failure, noted that the high-level coordination team will adopt guiding principles of accountability and community-driven methods to address the protracted crisis.
I pledge to Nigerians that I will restore peace in the Northeast and return it to the path of development and growth. I remain committed to this promise. A clear pathway for the restoration of peace and development in the Northeast, with each stakeholder's role and contribution to action plan clearly mapped out with assigned deliverables to ensure seamless implementation. B, the development and implementation of a phased plan for the repatriation, returns, resettlements of displaced persons and the restoration of livelihood, incorporating global best practices that give dignity to the affected population. And Nigerians call on you to be the team that will finally chart this new path to restoration of sustainable peace and progress in the Northeast.
Speaking to State House correspondents after the inauguration, Governor of Borno State Babagana Zulum expressed delight over the committee's inauguration as he said that displaced persons will now be repatriated and the issue of repentant Boko Haram insurgents further addressed.
Thousands of our people were displaced. Some were taking refuge in the Republic of Chad, in the Republic of Niger, Cameroon. And this is the time that the federal government of Nigeria, in collaboration with the state's government of the Northeast, will facilitate the repatriation of the internally displaced persons that are living in our neighboring countries to Nigeria. The committee is also to look into the management of the repentant Boko Haram members. So indeed we are so grateful, and the entire Northeastern state government will give maximum support to this committee. We will provide the necessary support to the federal government under the distinguished leadership of Mr. President. We shall provide all support to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and others, and the military to ensure that this process yielded the desired result.
The Nigerian Senate has urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, send fighter jets to flush out terrorists in their hideouts. The call was made on Tuesday during plenary following a point of order raised on the urgent need for the federal government to take drastic actions to bring to an end the act of banditry and kidnapping in the country. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun now reports.
Nigeria's insecurity situation isn't getting any better. In Kaduna alone, northwest of Nigeria, about 1,192 residents have lost their lives to attacks by bandits, while 3,348 citizens were kidnapped. Concerned by this trend, the Senate is proposing that the military deploys its fighter jets to flush out the terrorists. Senator Bello Mandi, while relying on Order 41 and 51 of the Senate rules, noted that the act of banditry and kidnapping has become a daily incident.
The need for federal government to take drastic actions to bring to an end to the act of banditry and kidnapping in particular local government area of Kaduna State. The Senate notes that the act of banditry and kidnapping has become a daily incident now in Katsina, with its consequence of loss of lives, means of livelihood, and displacement of communities. Worried that the continuous security challenges and related attacks by bandits on towns, villages, communities in Faskari local government area have meted untold hardship on the people and have subjected the affected areas under serious survival threat. And further worried that if this menace is not drastically promptly addressed, the consequence is going to be huge on food sufficiency, since the affected communities are mostly farmers.
Other lawmakers, in their contributions, faulted the inability of the military to contain the situation, despite several calls for the military to act.
Because what is happening now in Katsina, this shows that yes, we have to not only condemn it, we have to do something very serious. Because we cannot just sit down after declaring these bandits, terrorists, and then allow them again to continue with all these rubbish acts. So, Mr. President, we have to really look at it critically.
If it is the issue of recruitment in the army, we should also do the same. We have provided support to the security agents, and we are getting little in terms of, the outcome.
In his remarks, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said the repeated cases of kidnappings and killings make it imperative for the military to wake up to its duties. He wondered why full-scale action is yet to be carried out by the military, in spite of increased funding for security in the 2022 budget by the Executive and National Assembly.
The military is getting better funding from the government. And what we expect is to see improvement in output. I know the resources are not enough, but recently, in the last 1 year or 1.5 years, government has upscaled the level of funding for our military.
The Senate called on the federal government to send in sufficient military personnel and fighter jets to apprehend the bandits and restore normalcy in the affected areas. Simisola Jigu, TV360 News.
And in a related development, members of the Senate have proposed a bill seeking to compel landlords in the Federal Capital Territory to receive rent on a monthly basis. Senator representing Kogi West Smart Adeyemi, who is the sponsor of the legislation, explained that many residents of Abuja are finding it very difficult to cope with huge rent payments. The bill, which was laid for first reading during Tuesday's legislative proceedings, has however passed for a second reading. For more details in this next report.
The Nigerian Senate has passed for second reading a bill seeking to regulate rent payments in the Federal Capital Territory. The proposed legislation, sponsored by Senator Smart Adeyemi, specifically seeks to stop yearly advance payment of rent and compel house owners to collect rent monthly in arrears. Adeyemi, in his lead debate, said the bill was to cushion the effect of outrageous rents on properties on residents in the nation's capital. He said many properties in Abuja were empty because of the outrageous rents placed on them.
Yearly tenancy has continued to breed corruption, immoral decadence, and huge inequality as low-income earners who cannot afford continually pay their rent as a dwelling due to the exigencies of shelter for humanity, engage in measures which are illegal or unlawful, thereby engaging in corrupt practices, immorality, evil criminal acts to meet the pressing need of paying these wicked landlords.
Other senators who equally threw their weight behind the bill described the proposed law as people-centered.
We have to do something to the masses of this country. And the only way we can do it is to make sure that this is paid monthly rather than being paid in, let's say, in advance.
The system that we operate today encourages corruption in the service. And if this Senate can take an action that will find or give no justification for public servants and civil servants to get engaged in corruption, then we will have the moral authority to come so hard on corrupt officials.
In opposing the bill, Senator Chimaroke Nnamani said rents are determined by market forces like the cost of acquiring land and building materials. But his position, however, did not stop the passage of the bill for second reading.
If government wants to ameliorate the sufferings of the masses, government can go into housing schemes, mortgage schemes, housing credit facilities, not control the business of private individuals.
The bill was referred to the Senate Committee on Housing, given 4 weeks to report back in plenary for further legislative inputs.
A bill for an act to regulate the mode of payment of rent on residential apartments, office spaces, etc. in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and for other matters connected there with 2022, second reading taken.
The bill was referred to the Senate Committee on Housing, given 4 weeks to report back in plenary for further legislative inputs. Mojisola Matomi, TV360, Abuja.
And the Commandant, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA FCT Command, Mohammed Ajiya, has called on Nigerians to take advantage of the War Against Drug Abuse initiative launched with a view to stamp out the menace. Ajiya says alcohol and drug abuse among young Nigerians has assumed a frightening dimension in the country, just as it also warns of its dark consequences. Our correspondent Mojisola Matomi now reports.
Substance abuse is becoming more rampant among Nigeria's younger population. Data from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, shows that 40% of Nigerian youth between 18 and 35 years are deeply involved in drug abuse. To stem this trend, the NDLEA is working in partnership with the Two Faith Inter-Religious Youth Organization on how best to nip the illicit practice in the bud.
Government is supposed to use to build infrastructure in the country will be channeled towards rehabilitating those addicts. Maybe 20 million or $10 million or as the case may be, naira. Instead of it to be used in developing infrastructure in the country, that money will now go in rehabilitating these addicts, because government cannot afford to leave drug addicts all over the nation.
We have come up with a work plan on how to make sure we arrest this situation in safeguarding the future of Nigeria by organizing a sensitization campaign in 20 government secondary schools in FCT. So by so doing, and which we believe will help in reducing these cases of drug in Nigeria.
While community and grassroots sensitization have become popular, religious leaders say they also have a role to play in curbing the menace.
We are here to make sure that we have the support of the actual engine. As children, and this one, they are our grandparents. They are the one who has the actual program. Our own is to assist. So by coming to them now to take their blessings, that one will give us a lot of strength to make sure that we have succeeded in this kind of campaign.
NDLE are in the forefront of trying to cushion the effect of drugs on the nation economy. And we in Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, we try as much as possible to collaborate with other security agencies in making sure that the life and property of the nation, the economy, is not destroyed through other vices.
There are about 3 million people in Nigeria suffering varying forms of drug use disorder. Sadly, a future projection by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime places Nigeria's drug use population at over 20 million by the year 2030. The situation is not any better at the global scene, as the UN revealed that over 257 million people worldwide used drugs in the year 2021. Mojisola Matomi, TV360, Lagos.
The Nigerian Senate has confirmed 7 nominees appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari as National Commissioners and Resident Electoral Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The confirmation of the nominees on Wednesday followed the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on INEC. Chairman of the committee, Senator Kabiru Gaya, in his presentation, recalled that the confirmation request was made by President Buhari in compliance with the provision of the Constitution.
The members of the committee commended the nominees' impressive curriculum by Chief CB and satisfactory answers to the question posed, and therefore recommend that Malam Muhammad Haruna, Mrs. May Umbu, Kwegu Kenneth Nnamdi, Major General A.B. Al-Ali, Engineer Professor Rhoda Bumul, Mr. Sam Olumekun MNA, and Olani Olali Ijalai be confirmed by the Senate. Be confirmed by the Senate of the Republic of Nigeria as National Electoral Commissioners and the Resident Electoral Commissioner REC of the Indonesian National Electoral Commission INEC.
These are very, very well accomplished people. The nomination is very well reasoned, and frankly, like before, I never expected anything less.
It's not about the integrity of the nominee. It's about rotation. And so the committee itself did not find anything difficult in dismissing the petition. So Mr. President has done well for the nominations of these very prominent and eminent Nigerians.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, in his remarks after the nominees were confirmed, said the National Assembly would support the electoral body to ensure the conduct of free and transparent elections in 2023.
Congratulations to all of them. And Nigeria is expecting a lot from them, and they will have a baptism of fire, because 2023 is just by the corner. In fact, the process has already started. INEC may soon announce the dates of elections and then the subsequent processes, and we expect nothing less than excellence from our electoral body. This Senate has confirmed national commissioners, resident electoral commissioners before. We have done this today, and INEC now will have full complement of the people that need to do the work. INEC also gets the support of this assembly through appropriations, and therefore INEC would have no reason not to perform. We are also expecting that the electoral bill amendment, the amendment of the electoral bill will be signed, and if that happens, INEC will have a document that will guide it through even the off seasons, probably before the 2023 general elections.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, Central Bank Governor Emefiele inaugurates 15 billion naira rice mill in Kano. Details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammad Buhari says Nigerians in the northeast will, in the coming months, witness a change from the protracted insurgency to peace and development in their respective communities. According to him, the administration is embarking on a revised approach to addressing the 13-year conflict and insurgency in the region and will not relent in efforts towards a return to peace and normalcy. We also told you that the Nigerian Senate has urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, send fighter jets to flush out terrorists in their hideouts. The call was made on Tuesday during plenary following a point of order raised on the urgent need for the federal government to take drastic actions to bring to an end the act of banditry and kidnapping in the country. Well, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, to log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. The World Health Organization says almost 90 million COVID-19 cases have been reported worldwide since the Omicron variant was identified in 2021. Speaking on Tuesday at a virtual media briefing, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said the figure is greater than the number recorded in 2020. Ghebreyesus also said the WHO is concerned that while deaths from the virus are increasing, countries are beginning to find it unnecessary to prevent transmission, adding that it is premature for any country to declare victory over COVID-19.
Since Omicron was first identified just 10 weeks ago, almost 90 million cases have been reported to WHO, more than were reported in the whole of 2020. We're now starting to see a very worrying increase in deaths in most regions of the world. We're concerned that a narrative has taken hold in some countries that because of vaccines and because of Omicron's high transmissibility and lower severity, preventing transmission is no longer possible and no longer necessary. Nothing could be further from the truth. More transmission means more deaths. We're not calling for any country to return to so-called lockdown, but we're calling on all countries to protect their people using every tool in the toolkit, not vaccines alone. It's premature for any country either to surrender or to declare victory. This virus is dangerous, and it continues to evolve before our very eyes.
We'll take a break now and return with business updates. Welcome back. Simisola Adigun is standing by with the latest business updates. Over to you, Simisola.
Thank you, Mary. Welcome to business. Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, on Tuesday inaugurated the ultra-modern 420 metric tons per day capacity rice milling factory in Kano State. Speaking at the occasion, Emefiele said the establishment of the factory was in line with the federal government's commitment towards ensuring food security in the country. Emefiele noted that prior to the introduction of the Anchor Borrowers program in Nigeria, there were less than 10 functional rice milling plants in the country with a combined capacity of 350,000 metric tons. But with the program, they have increased to over 60 integrated mills with a combined capacity of over 3 million metric tons, with about 10 more mills scheduled to be commissioned this year. Emefiele urged rice mill owners to be involved in paddy production for sustainable supply through partnership with the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, RIFAN. We'll take a short break and be back with stock market report. Trading on the Nigerian stock market for Wednesday ended bearish, closing at 0.38% as against 1.04% appreciation recorded on Tuesday. In the aggregate, 113 NGX equities participated in trading, ending with 21 gainers and 33 losers. ABC Transport and Courtville led the losers counter with a combined loss of 87 kobo, while sitting top of the gainers list are Ikeja Hotel and Corn Oil, ending with 27 naira 93 kobo. Regarding the performance of the NGX market indices, a total of 434 million volume of shares valued at 6.260 billion naira were traded in 5,878 deals. All-share index declined by 0.38%, and while market capitalization still stands at 25 trillion naira. For select global stocks, London's FTSE rose on Wednesday, extending gains for the second session. The gains were led by banks and mining stocks in anticipation of a second consecutive rate hike from the Bank of England meeting on Thursday. It ended in the greens at 0.77%. For the U.S. Dow Jones, Wednesday's market gains were milder than those seen earlier in the week. It ended with 0.100%. Japan's Nikkei maintained positive sentiments from Tuesday to close at 1.68% today. That's because global investors are getting more interested in Japanese stocks because of improvements in corporate governance, and the country remains a critical part of a global supply chain for technology. Well, that's all on Stock Market Report. Back to you, Mary.
Well, thank you for that update, Simisala. And now on the global scene, African Union Commission Chief Musa Faki Mohammed has expressed deep concern over the attempted coup in Guinea-Bissau. In a statement, the AU chief urged the military to return to the barracks and to ensure the physical integrity of President Umaru Sissoco Embalo and members of government. Heavily armed men had surrounded Guinea-Bissau's palace of government, where Embalo and Prime Minister Nuno Gomez Nabiam were believed to have gone to attend a cabinet meeting. Well, up next is Entertainment Report.
Former Big Brother Naija Double Wala housemate Toby Bakri has given his 2 cents on the secret to a beautiful marriage. The reality star engaged his fans in an interactive session on Instagram where he urged them to ask him any question. One of the fans, who is thrilled by his ability to make being married easy and beautiful, asked him the secret. Toby stressed the need to be comfortable with fights and quarrels while married and talked about love and respect regardless. Toby Bakri got married to Anu in August 2021, and they both welcomed their baby boy December 30th the same year. Precious Chikwedu, the estranged wife of Nigerian politician Femi Fani-Kayode, has revealed how she was beaten just 4 months after giving birth to her first son. The former beauty queen made this known while celebrating her son on his birthday. Fani-Kayode and Chikwedu have been at loggerheads since their separation in 2020. The former aviation minister and his estranged wife have accused each other of several allegations, including infidelity, domestic violence, to mention a few. Chikwedu and Fani-Kayode have 4 sons together. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
Sports. Manchester United forward Mason Greenwood has been released on bail after being questioned over the alleged rape and assault of a young woman. Greenwood had been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault on Sunday afternoon after he was accused of violence towards his 18-year-old girlfriend. This new development comes after Manchester United confirmed during the weekend that Greenwood would not be involved with the club for the foreseeable future. Well, that's the size of our news bulletin at this time. Well, thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu.